Alright, so that's the overview of the blog module. The future in DNN blog module. The next version is 3.5.2. Alright, they're upgrading the blog module to use .NET Framework 3.5, which is awesome. It's about time. They've wanted to do that for a long time, but things have prevented them from doing that. It's going to have Twitter integration already in there. Latest blog post module is a new one, and also latest comments. So you're going to be able to have a summary module that's going to give you all the latest blog posts in a more summarized fashion than we already have. And then, that just reminded me, I forgot something in my demo. I'll come back to it. Latest comments module, that's useful to some people that want all their comments displayed out. That's something that's kind of new with Web 2.0. I have differing opinions on that, but categories is going to be reworked. So right now it's kind of the trial blogs thing. Excuse me. Tagging is going to be included in there, and a tag cloud. Tag cloud is that new thing where you see the text of the most common words that are used in your blog entries. If you write technical blogs, that could be weird because you're going to get some words from that you're not expecting in there, like some of your code words that maybe you didn't intend to be in your tag cloud. So hopefully they put a filtering mechanism in there to pull out words they don't want.
So the tag cloud's not pulling from your tags.
Well, I don't know specifically how they did that. I'm just mine's a kind of up in the air comment.
So tagging's actually new for the blog.
Yeah, for
so
this
the tag cloud should probably pull from the tags.
Well, if they do it the way Antonio Chigari already has a tag cloud module out there that I actually use in my module, or my site. But what his does is it uses the search engine in DNN to pull the tags out. So he doesn't have to actually go and do the algorithms to go find what the most common words in your blog entries are. The search engine in DNN already did that as effectively as it can. But so then it basically changes CSS to make the words bigger and different colors depending on how you have it set up, which is what the most popular themes in your website are. So tagging is a little bit different from tag cloud. Tagging is where you put an actual tag in there. So you write your blog post, and at the end of your blog post you say, okay, my blog post is about ASP.NET, VB, and DNN. Right? That's the only things I talk about in there. Those are my tags. So that's kind of a content filtration. Tag cloud is more dynamic in the fact that it doesn't necessarily use those tags, but it pulls words out of your content that are the most common themes. Right? Depending on how it's implemented, some of the other blogging engines actually do use your tags to create the tag cloud. So DNN doesn't. And the next, I'm not sure how they're doing the tag cloud, but if it's anything like what he's already done for his personal stuff, he's probably going to go with along the same technology. But I can tell you this, he didn't write it because I saw who checked it in. I don't even know who the person is, but it wasn't Antonio. So, yes?
What's the Twitter integration? What exactly will that?
The feeling I got from him, because he didn't tell me exactly how he has it integrated, but the way he made it sound is it's going to automatically help you feed your posts into Twitter. So when you
kind of like what Facebook will do with.
Well, it kind of. I'm not sure. Well, it depends on what you mean. Basically, when you create a blog entry and you say, okay, I'm talk about this, and this, and update, and you send your blog out. What the Twitter integration is supposed to be doing, as I understand it, is it's supposed to be taking your blog posts and then with the Twitter credentials that you give it, saying pushing it out to your Twitter account, saying I just blogged about, and here's the page or the content title with the link.
Okay, so that's kind of what Facebook is doing. Because I use TweetDeck, and any Facebook it automatically will.
Yeah, depending on how active you are, that's a good or bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, it's
I had people ask me to stop doing it. So yeah, so that's what's supposed to be happening. There's some specific. Anybody not familiar with Technorati? Technorati?
I've heard of it.
All right, Technorati is kind of an everything blog aggregator. You can think of it, well, that's basically the best explanation for it. Basically, for every single content theme out there, it aggregates it all to Technorati, and then you have people that can rate your blogs, and people get, all kinds of interactive things like being able to give people more authority as far as they have more knowledge in this area and this and that. And being able to share more and comments in an external area. So, but the biggest thing it does is it adds more value to your site by, once again, bringing more visitors to your blog site. All right. But in order for Technorati to effectively crawl your site, there's some very specific updates that need to be made to the blog module to make Technorati actually work effectively with your DNN site. there was one thing that I wasn't able to do myself, and so mine's not fully integrated yet, but the next version is going to be fully integrated. If you're familiar with the people on the team, Dario Rossi, I think is his name, he did finish off what I was intending to do to make the Technorati site, or make the DNN blog module interface better with the Technorati site. So that's going to be there. That's the most popular blog aggregator out there, so that's important to be part of. And the save as draft feature is something else I mentioned. Now real quick, because I forgot to do it, I'm going to go back to this demo here. Alright, I don't have edit permissions to all these other modules, so I'm going to log out real quick and go back in as an admin. I lied when I said, hey, the blog module's ready, go out and do it. I forgot something. Alright, so I'm going to go in there as an admin. Yes, I know. Hey, I said I know. Go away. There we go. Alright. This center module right here actually has some module options that you can do to it. This is your view blog module. And obviously, since this is DNN, we can change the titles of these. So I can call this recent blog entries to make this a lot more useful to us, right? Alright, this has some, that's interesting. That's happened to me twice today. So my action menu is up there in the corner. Alright, so I went to the blog options, so that's kind of like blog settings but in a different spot. Alright, this allows you to do some really cool interactive things. There's something that didn't show up in here that I meant to show. One of the things is to make entry summary mandatory. Doing that makes that first summary section mandatory for you to fill out, and it gives you some parameters to make sure that people do something meaningful in there. You know, whether or not that's useful to you, that's up to you. Yes?
Antonio asked me to echo you for some reason.
Did he?
Yeah.
Tell him I said the module sucks. I found a bunch of bugs. My session's going horrible. Yeah, Antonio's a good guy. All right, let's see here. Okay, so some other things that you can go ahead and give some controls to. You know, limiting the most recent RSS entries. You know, by default it's 10, but if you want 15 in there or 5 even, depending on how active you are, those are things that you can tweak. Some of the more useful things are below that though. Those are things that have been in there for a while. But some of the comment settings, like show avatars, that's your gravatar stuff. How big that gravatar is, the rating for it. So if you have not so friendly child, you know, not so child friendly site, you can give a rating for it. And then also the default image that you use, and you can use your own. Okay, that's completely up to you how you do that. Now.
Gray Man's a popular poster.
What do you do? What?
Gray Man, he's a popular poster.
Yes, he is. He comments a lot. Very opinionated. And he always changes his name, like, I don't know who that is. Alright, so some of the other things, whether or not you show the title and all those things, these are all little tweaks that you can do to change your blog to fit your business needs or your personal needs, depending on what your blog is supposed to be focusing on. Now your SEO settings show unique title, show SEO friendly URL. Do not uncheck that. That's so powerful. Keeping that checked will make sure that the URL up here, instead of saying default ASPX and entry ID 432, it's much more useful for it to actually have your blog title name in there. So keep that done. Regenerate all permanent permalinks for this module. You shouldn't ever have to do that unless you messed up the database. All right, so. You can click it, and it shouldn't do anything bad, but it'll just change all those unique URLs. Where's the other thing I wanted to show you? Oh, there it is. Okay, I didn't get down to it yet. Enable DNN search is useful if you're going to be using stuff like, you know, the third-party tag cloud module or whatever. It'll allow this particular module to be indexed properly by the DNN search. If you don't use DNN search, don't worry about it. It just adds more overhead. Now, personal blog page, this is useful in the fact that every single user gets their own blog page. You know, remember I showed you blog ID 1. You know, if I was to log into somebody else, create another one, blog ID 2, and so on. We could put this blog module, this one specific one, on another page. Maybe we had profile pages for everybody. Maybe this is some sort of social site, and everybody has their own blogging area. You can use that drop-down list to select that user's blog, and then those are the only ones that will ever show in that particular module. All right. So there's a little bit of flexibility there. All right. Now, the thing I really love about this is it enables social bookmarks. I want to say the next version, but I can't remember. Either the next version or the version after that, they're going to make the social bookmarks templatable, because right now you can't do it without touching